Hello, welcome to the most dangerous podcast. How are you, James?
I'm okay. No, not too bad. It's quite weird, isn't it? Because we only spoke a few days ago, so
Yes. Yeah.
I'm good. I don't really have much news though, because nothing's really happened over 3 days.
Do you know what? Do you know this weekend I did nothing, which is really difficult for me because I'm a bit of a workaholic. I can't sit still.
And it's unusual not to
Yeah,
do anything. All
really
right. Okay.
struggle to relax.
Did you experience the storm?
We did, yeah.
Did you? What was it? Storm Aisha.
Aisha, yeah.
That was the big one that was doing the rounds recently, the past couple of days.
Yeah, although there was like an amber weather warning, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And a tornado alert.
Yeah. I was
And
bracing myself for it. I was kind of looking forward to it a
yeah,
little bit.
what happened at our house was Teddy's plastic lawnmower moved across the garden.
Yeah, I think my black bin fell over.
Got it.
Maybe a garden chair sort of
Yeah,
scooted
yeah.
along the patio about, I don't know, 2 foot. And that was about it. So I was a bit disappointed with that. I was kind of like, I read it in the news and then there was all
Yeah.
this kind of like massive disruption. And that's not to say that's not happened sort of in other places around the country, but it did specifically say on the news the northwest of England
Oh yeah, we
would be hit.
had the amber, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I didn't. I don't think we had any rain or anything.
No, it was just pretty windy,
Yeah,
which you know.
that's standard for the
Yeah.
northwest, did it really?
Stay in. If you go out, put your kids on bits of string. You'll be fine.
Yeah, don't feed them helium.
No, no.
But apparently, there's another storm on the way. Apparently,
Is there?
just Jocelyn,
Jocelyn.
just Jocelyn,
Jocelyn.
But she's on her way tonight. Apparently,
Jocelyn sounds like an angrier woman, doesn't she?
yeah, a lot than Aisha.
Yeah.
You can't judge a book by its cover, though.
No, true. God, these podcasts are getting better and better, aren't they?
Come on, then, carry on. What are we doing then?
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting because we've teased this for a few weeks now, and this is the first of our series, isn't it?
It is, yes. Sought after, muchly anticipated series of pods that we decided, because we did say, didn't we, that we were kind of we were doing episodes, but we felt as though there was more content that we could put into those episodes. So why not do perhaps a collection over one broader series? So what is it then? You do the big reveal.
The big reveal. So we are looking at the most dangerous things in. You ready?
Ready?
Australia.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. The most dangerous country in the world, where everything that's alive wants to kill you.
Well, yeah, you say that. So we like last time we spoke about kind of stereotypes and how other nations kind of view other areas or continents and things. Well, that's our view of Australia. Everything there wants to kill you. I'm sure it's not true. I'm sure it's beautiful, but
well, there's a lot of people live there, a lot of people that move there, so there must be something attractive about it. But yeah, I think the Western world just see it as this place full of creatures that all want to kill you, that live in your toilet and bite your arse and stuff like that. And
like you see these like travel programs and stuff, and it does look absolutely like beautiful, like paradise. Some parts of it, but I don't think I'd ever go because everything wants to kill me.
Yeah, true. It's the kind of, you see, like, you go to like the Serengeti and there's like lions and big, like hippos and stuff that want to kill you. But you can kind of keep an eye out for them, because a lion, it can sneak up on you, but it's a big thing. Whereas in Australia, there's like sneaky wee things that can kill you. These spiders and snakes and stuff, and they come into your house. You're living in a house in the Serengeti. Lions rarely come in through the front door.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Like, in the Serengeti, a lion doesn't live around the back of your toilet.
No.
So or if it does, it's there.
So I'll be presenting the first of our choices. So what we're going to do, we're each going to present a couple of items that we think are the most dangerous in Australia. And then towards the end of the series, we'll debate it, won't we? See who was right, see who
Yeah.
was wrong.
We'll perhaps do like a ranking system, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Yes, a ranking system. But it's my go tonight, so I've got a wonderful presentation for you tonight, James.
I hope so. All right then, Fraser. So you're first. We flipped a coin. You won, and you've got the first choice. So go ahead. What have we got here today?
Right. Well, as we've discussed, in Australia, you're walking about and there's snakes and there's spiders and all these creepy crawlies and kangaroos and stuff like that. But I found something that I thought was particularly dangerous. Now, imagine you're walking along through the woodlands in the forests in Australia, minding your own business, looking out for snakes and spiders. The last thing you expect is a giant leopard-sized bear to land on your back and bite through your throat, so you're dead before you even know about it.
Leopard size.
Leopard size, yes. Now,
pretty big.
It's pretty big, yeah. What I'm, of course, talking about is the drop bears. Their official Latin name, Thylarchatus plummetus.
A drop? I've not heard of these.
A drop bear.
No.
So they're about the size of a leopard or a large dog, and they've got coarse orange fur with some darker mottled patterning, similar to that seen in koalas. In fact, they're quite koala-like, but probably twice the size and a lot more dangerous looking.
So koalas are like. So do you say like mottled? So like a
Mottled.
like an orangey mottled colour.
Yeah, so orange with kind of black patches on them.
Right, because like koalas are kind of grey, aren't they? So
They are, yes.
Slightly different variation of that.
Yeah, the koalas are more grey, but they've still got that kind of black mottled pattern on the back. So these are more orange, a bit like koalas. They're quite a heavy built animal, quite powerful forearms for climbing, holding on to prey. They don't actually have canine teeth. They've got quite big, powerful premolars that they use as biting tools, and it's believed they actually have a bite similar to that of a bolt cutter and can bite through a human neck easily.
Bloody hell. The reason I said koalas, though, is because I was thinking, because you said bear, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking like Australian bear. I can't think of any other. You don't get like brown bears or black bears in Australia. So you said bear, so I was thinking koala bear. And did you say it was like closely related to it earlier?
Yeah, they're quite like koalas. Yeah, similar sort of
like
body
kind of like
shape and stuff, but they're a
the
bit
ginger
bigger.
cousin.
That's it, big angry ginger cousin.
But a bit a bigger version, if the size of a dog and a leopard.
And a lot more dangerous. I mean, koala bears people think are quite cuddly things. I believe koala bears can be quite vicious as well.
Yeah, I did see some stuff. They've got a bit of a nasty nip, apparently, if you like kind of wind them up or steal a food or something. They'll kind of come at you.
They do sleep like 23 hours a day, so
it's a bit like me. Actually.
Yeah, they're like the laziest creatures in the world, I think, koalas.
Well, I'd like to challenge them on that, to be honest.
So their habitat, they tend to live in closed canopy forests, as well as open woodlands on the margins of dense forests. Right. They don't really tend to come out of the forest and woodlands very much. You never really see them near roads or human habitation. So you've got to go to where they are, really. At least they're
quite docile then, and they don't really kind of interact with humans.
That's it, yeah. Unless they're dropping on you and killing you.
Yeah, but I guess you'd have to be walking in the forest or whatever. You're not they don't hang off lampposts.
No. They tend to be found in the, like I said, densely forested regions of Australia. So they're southeastern Australia. There's some reports of them in southern Australia, Mount Lofty ranges, and they're known to be on Kangaroo Island. It sounds like a wonderfully interesting place.
Yeah, I was just about to pick you up on that. Kangaroo Island. Come on, you must have looked into this because it sounds good.
Yeah,
but then when you kind of like, because you get these like sort of comic versions of kangaroos, which are kind of like lovely and cute, but then when you see them like properly. You know, when you see these documentaries and
Yeah.
they're fucking nails and boxing people's ears in.
Oh, they're big hard bastards, yeah.
Yeah. So, what's Kangaroo Island then?
It's just an island full of kangaroos.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't look too much into it.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I believe it's an island with quite a high kangaroo population. So.
Yeah, I know. There's clues in the name, I suppose. Sorry.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? As there's a spider island somewhere where just everything's covered in cobwebs. There's billions.
Yeah,
of
I've seen that.
That
there's a few, isn't there? I'm sure there's a cat island.
Yeah.
And Dog Island. I'm sure that's in the UK. Like, isn't it like a dog island, but it doesn't have any dogs on it? It's just called Dog Island.
I don't know. There's
I'm pretty sure that's
Puffin Island.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest YouTube videos I ever saw involved a kangaroo. It was a woman. It was a woman feeding a kangaroo. You know when you go to these like petting zoos and you get like a little bag of just like pellets that you can feed the animals.
Yeah.
But it was a big kangaroo. It was taller than her. So she's feeding the kangaroo these pellets. Obviously, she gives him the last couple of pellets. She screws up the bag and puts her hands out as if to say, no more. And in a blink of an eye, the kangaroo kicks her really hard in the fanny and then just fucks off into the distance.
Yeah, I've seen some proper, like, ripped kangaroos.
Yeah.
It's like there was one, like, a photo doing the rounds where it was just like, it was proper, like, I think I sent it to you. It's like, this is what a kangaroo likes when it looks like when he spent like 4 years in jail. He's like proper ripped. Like, yeah. There was like a PlayStation game years ago, like Tekken, the fighting game.
Oh yeah.
One of the characters in that was a kangaroo. He was just like, he had boxing gloves on. So it's got a bit of a reputation, but that's not what we're talking about anyway. Sorry,
it's not what we're talking about. No, we're talking about the drop bears.
The drop bear, yeah.
So basically, studies of kill sites and examinations of scats, which is their poo.
Scats.
Scats. Yeah, Scatman. Remember him?
What's a kill site?
Kill sites where
they kill things.
Yeah, so where they've found the remains of things killed by drop bears.
Oh, okay. So not like a pit with loads of bodies.
No, it's not.
Just like the odd kind of like, there's a thing here that...
If you go down to the woods today, don't go to the drop bear kill site. Studies of kill sites and examination of scats suggest mainly medium to large species of mammal make a substantial portion of the animal's diet. Often prey such as macropods are larger than the drop bear itself. Now you can ask me what are macropods. Basically,
I am, yeah.
Because I looked that up because I didn't know what it was.
Oh, macropod.
Macropod. It's a family of marsupials that includes kangaroos, wallabies, tree kangaroos, wallaroos, padmelons, quackers, and several other groups. So it's basically things like kangaroos, including kangaroos.
What was the quad malin or whatever you said there?
The quackers. Padmelons and quackers.
Padmelons. Yeah, what are they?
I don't know, I didn't look it up. That's something that the listeners can look them up for us and send some pictures in.
They sound a bit mad.
So they're hunting. So basically they hunt by ambushing ground-dwelling animals from above. As you can imagine, the name drop bear, they live up in the tree, drop on you and kill you. Very stealthy and sneaky.
God, right.
And it's believed that they can actually wait up to as much as 4 hours to make a surprise kill. So they just sit up in the tree. Once the prey's in view, drop bear will drop as much as 8 meters to pounce on top of the unsuspecting victim. The initial impact often stuns the prey, allowing it to be bitten on the neck and quickly subdued.
God. Do they hunt on their own, or do they live in packs? Do you know, or
no? They're quite solitary. They hunt on their own.
Really? So they just kind of stalk,
wait,
and then pounce when the opportunity arises.
And if the prey is small enough, they tend to drag it back up into the tree to eat it up there.
Wow. All right.
So I can hear you saying, so what's the danger to humans, Fraser?
Don't put words in my mouth. Come on, hang on a minute. We're not quite there yet.
No. But that's the next bit on my notes.
All right, go on then. What's the dangers of humans then, Fraser?
Well, basically the dangers to humans, I think, relatively self-explanatory. The drop bears are known to attack bushwalkers, not bushwhackers, bushwalkers by being dropped on, resulting in injury, including mainly lacerations and severe bites.
And what's a
Drop
bushwhacker?
a bushwhacker.
A wrestler.
Yeah, them two fellas. One of them died a couple of weeks ago.
No shit, they all die, they don't they?
So drop bears, they're a danger to humans. You can be walking in the woods, bang, drop bear drops on your back, bites through your neck, and you're dead.
Dead?
Dead? Oh, well, they don't always kill.
Straight for the jugular.
Straight for the jugular. They're known to have killed.
So are you ready to go through the stats yet? Or are you going to expand a little bit more before we go through the stats on these?
I'd like to just leave the stats for a bit.
Okay.
Let me expand a little bit more.
All right.
Because this is the interesting bit here. Now, drop bears, they're known to target people with foreign accents.
Fuck, what?
You're 41 times more likely to be attacked by a drop bear if you're not Australian.
What? I don't know what to say about this.
I've got a recent study that backs this up.
Okay.
Okay. So, drop bears, they do particularly target tourists.
How do they know, though?
Well, here we go. There's some evidence here from Dr. Volker Jansen, a research associate at the University of Tasmania, led a research team into Moreton National Park in 120 kilometres southwest of Sydney in search of drop bears. Now,
is this a real university? Is this a real person?
Yeah, this was real. I mean, it says here.
It says here on the internet.
Yeah. And
I don't understand how they can know that they're not like a national. Like, do they check the passports before they attack people? Or...
Well, there's a theory here. You're jumping ahead. So, given that obviously,
come on, figure out your lies first.
So, given that GPS tracking is difficult to apply to a tree-dwelling animal, Volker came up with a new approach to study the animal's behaviour. It involves tracking the prey rather than the predator. So the location and timing of attacks is then used to map the animal population. So members of the research team, they were tracking using... The members were tracked using the GPS devices as opposed to the animals. And they dispersed in the study area, and the findings published in the journal have revealed that 6 drop bears inhabit the study area. Drop bears are known to be very territorial, says Volker. They do not stray far from a relatively small number of trees in close proximity that are used as a hunting ground.
Right.
Statistically, the results suggest that people born in Australia are significantly less likely to be attacked by drop bears. The analysis has provided valuable insights into the animal's hunting behaviour. It's been confirmed that foreigners are much more likely to be dropped on than Australians.
Now, there might be some truth in this, though. No, to be fair... Because if you're an Australian native, you are more sort of aware, like you're more conscious of the threats involved, right? So if you know there's something in the trees that might sort of jump on you whilst you're walking around in the wilderness, you might think, well, I won't walk under there because that's 8 foot, and the potential is there's something in there that'll jump on my head. Whereas, if you're just a traveller or whatever, you don't know anything about it, you go straight in, and then so I can kind of see the logic behind that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So an Australian would just be a bit more wary and a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
Well, Volker disagrees. He attributes the selective behaviour to a number of factors, the most significant of which relates to the Australian people's taste for Vegemite. Byproducts of the interaction between chemicals found in Vegemite and those found in human sweat repel drop bears.
Is that a fact, is it? Hang on.
Most Australians eat Vegemite at least once a day, so they permanently exude these chemicals throughout their skin and are thus protected. Drop bears are thought to discern Australian accents as well, and seem less likely to attack people who have them.
Oh, God, come on.
So,
right, hang on a minute. No. Hang on a minute. Hang on. So, first of all, the chemicals in Vegemite, right?
Yeah.
So what chemicals in Vegemite cause this kind of
I think it's like a smell. It's like, have you ever eaten a lot of garlic and you can have a garlicky smell for a couple of
I've
days?
eaten a lot of Vegemite. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
But I've
Well,
also eaten a lot of Marmite, which is the British equivalent,
hmm
right? And there isn't that too much distinction between the two. I'd say Vegemite was a bit softer in taste.
hmm
So if I eat a lot of Marmite,
hmm
so I think one Marmite's yeast extract, isn't it?
yes. Yeah.
And Vegemite is a vegetable extract.
hmm
So I don't know how it's made. So if I eat a lot of Marmite, does that mean I won't be as much of a target? Or is it? I suppose they're different
Maybe
things.
the drop bear might go, that smells like Marmite. Definitely a foreigner.
It's definitely
No.
fine.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, on Volker's study, he's actually come up with some ideas to help foreign people protect themselves against drop bears. And the first one is to actually practice talking with an Australian accent. So when you're in the forest, you've got to try and, when you're having your conversations, talk with an Australian accent.
Yeah.
Another one is to wear forks in your hair
Come
to
on.
protect yourself.
What?
But they think that the best method of defending yourself against just putting drop bears off is to actually just put a little bit of Vegemite behind your ears or under your armpits to try and repel the drop bears because they'll think you're an Australian.
I'm starting to question this a little bit, if I'm perfectly honest. We did have we said, oh, let's do Australia, and there was a lot of animals to pick from. And yes, surely, like, some are, I'm sure we'll come across some that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've not heard of this drop bear before, and the advice that's been given sounds a bit suspect to me.
Yeah.
It's like you sound like you're starting to not believe it yourself. So we've got a dude from Tasmanian University.
Tasmania, yeah.
And he reckons that if you put Vegemite behind your ear, you're safe walking in the woods.
Yeah, yeah.
From this particular species of bear or marsupial or whatever it is.
Also, toothpaste, I've read. It's quite a good repellent. Yeah, put toothpaste in your neck. They don't like it.
But then if you're Australian, it's all right though.
Yeah, you don't need to.
So you don't need to do that.
No. So what do you think about drop bears? Do you think they could be dangerous?
I think it sounds like a lot of shit, actually. But you said you were going to talk about the figures, so I want to just delve a little bit deeper in before I start going, oh no, this is just silly. Like,
yeah,
can you just explain to me, like, how many people have experienced attacks? Maybe not deaths, but
Well, James, there's not actually any figures on it.
There's a fucking surprise, right? Okay.
It's not something that they've actually managed to put a definite number on.
Is that because everybody puts Vegemite behind their ears when they go walking in the woods?
That's right, yes.
Is that right? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it certainly helped the Vegemite. They sell Vegemite at the airport now.
I do. It's not April the 1st, is it?
It's not, but
Is that when they did the study?
Funnily enough, it appeared on the Australian National Geographic website on April the 1st in 2013.
Oh, did it really? I wonder why.
Yeah, these aren't actually real.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! So what are they, like, kind of like cryptids or what? Like, is it like kind of a mythical beast that some people think that might be real, or like?
They are, yes. They were actually made up about 60, 70 years ago to scare tourists for a laugh.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's just become something that it's become something that all the Australian kids and everything know about drop bears. And when someone's not from the area, the first thing they say to them is, "Oh, be careful of the drop bears." And they start telling them all the stories, and tourists are smearing Vegemite behind their ears. And
like, look at that crazy fool.
I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at a lot of different creatures and everything. I thought, this isn't real, but I quite like it.
Is it one of those, like, like with stuff like this, like cryptids and things? So they have this myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then people are fucking mad, right? People are a bit crazy, and they kind of run with this myth to a point where they're going, "I've seen a drop bear. I've seen. It's definitely true. It's definitely true." And because it's such an old myth, 60 or 70 years ago, are there people that actually believe in this? Do people think it's real?
There's definitely believers. I think it's a bit of a kind of Loch Ness monster type thing.
Yeah.
You go to some people in Inverness and try and tell them the Loch Ness monster isn't real, and they'll start getting really fucking angry with you, convinced that Nessie's real because it's been around for so long and people see things and they think that's it.
And I suppose it's a similar amount of time, I think, with Nessie. Because Nessie, Nessie might be a bit older, but I think first widely reported was about 70, 80, maybe 100 years ago. So it's got kind of a similar amount of time. So I think there's possibly people who are going, there's drop bears in them woods there.
Just see an angry koala and think that's it.
Yeah, like a koala sort of runs down the tree and chases them back home. That's a drop bear.
So I'm sorry that obviously my first choice for Australia is not actually real, but I quite like drop bears and I thought I want to talk about them.
Yeah, so I mean, they're not really dangerous, are they? Because they're not even real.
But they could be considered dangerous because people... No, they're not really, are they?
No, they're not. No. It's an interesting subject.
Yeah.
I mean, has there been any sort of stories where people have gone into the woods and gone, "I've seen a drop bear," or "A drop bear attacked my wife," or anything like that?
I couldn't find any stories. They were old kind of like stories that parents told their kids to frighten them and stuff like that. But no sort of real stories of people claiming that they'd actually seen them or anything. I do want to give a wee quick shout out. I listened to a podcast today called Cryptid Campfire.
And so if you said this at the beginning,
yeah, I thought I'd leave that out. And they've done 200 and odd episodes, and episode 89 is called Drop Bears. And I thought I'll give their podcast a listen to, and I think it's only fair that I give them a wee shout out. I didn't use any of their material. I got all my own because it was better. But no, fair play to Cryptid Campfire. It's always nice to give a shout out to another podcast.
I'll go back and give that a listen then. Well, actually, I won't. What's the point?
It was a bit of a struggle of a listen, to be honest. So that's drop bears. I'm not fully done there. I've got a wee story here, a bit of wind up.
Oh, was it called the Most Dangerous Podcast?
Yes, it was. It was actually a UK reporter was over in Australia, and she was visiting a zoo type place, and they started telling her about drop bears.
Right.
And she believed them, so they told her they were going to let her hold a real drop bear, and they got her all dressed up in protective gear and a special mask and all this, and she had as if she was going like deep sea diving.
Yeah. These dangerous, these things. Be careful. Yeah.
And they brought out a regular koala and gave it to her to hold. And this is some of her quotes. She said that everyone looked very worried about it. She was trying not to be worried because she's been told that the drop bear consents if she's worried. And
don't speak in an English accent.
After a few moments, Miss Edward became increasingly anxious, and the wildlife park staff intervened when she pleaded at them to take the animal back off her.
Oh, bloody hell. She's got in her own head there, hasn't she?
I know. And it was just a koala that she was holding.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what happens with all these things. Sorry to interrupt. We've done this before. When people go ghost hunting and stuff, we did it on the Halloween one. People get in their own heads and they go, it's like, it's just nothing. But then they start going, well, I think it is. Like, this is a drop bear. Oh my god, it's going to go sick. It's going to bite me. And that's what's happened there. It's just that her own mind's got the better of her there.
Well, I'm going to admit to you as a 41-year-old man that when I was a little kid and it was dark, I didn't like going up the stairs. I always ran up the stairs. Didn't like walking up the stairs in the dark. And to this day, when I switch the downstairs lights off and I get halfway up the stairs and it's dark, I don't start running, but I still get a kind of nervousness of this something chasing me up the stairs.
That's a natural thing, though. I think there's a human element of that because I think naturally,
Yeah.
as a species, the dark is kind of a bit bad. You don't want to be stuck out in the dark. And to be honest, I get that as well a little bit. Not all the time, but every now and then I'll be sort of turn the lights off. I'll get sort of halfway up the stairs or down the landing and think, oh, I'm not sure about this. Or no, just get myself out of here.
Yeah,
and I think
you just move a bit quicker, don't you?
Yeah. And I think that's just getting in your own head. And I think that's exactly what's happened to this poor lady.
There's nothing there. My most feared thing in the world is dark water, like a river at night or a lake at night.
Oh yeah,
even a swimming pool.
Yeah, when you can't see below it.
Yeah, that's my most feared thing in the world.
Not a drop there, no.
Not a drop there. Yeah. So Miss Edward, you can actually look this up on YouTube and see the video for getting handed the koala and being told it's a drop bear. Her comments were at the end were, "You were kidding me, you fucking
you
Aussies."
bastards!" Yeah,
yeah. So I just put that in. I thought that was fun. That they actually there's a video out there.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah. And just to really pad this a little bit, I looked up a couple of other mythical Australian creatures.
Oh right, okay,
what
interesting.
else was out there? Yeah, there's a creature called the Yara Ma Yahoo, which is a legendary creature found in Australian Aboriginal mythology.
Yeah,
and basically
sounds Aboriginal, actually.
Yeah. According to legend, the creature resembles a little red frog-like man with a very big head, a large mouth with no teeth, and suckers on the ends of its hands and feet.
Whoa. Hang on. Let me just get a pen.
Mm-hmm.
Just go through that again slowly.
Okay. A little red frog-like man.
Frog-like man.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a very big head.
Yeah.
A large mouth with no teeth. And suckers on the ends of its hands and feet.
I'm not going to show you my drawing, but I can't no, I can't. It's embarrassing. All right, I kind of get it. A little bit. How did it say? How little?
No, it just says. Well, let me carry on. It might give you an idea. It says the Yara Ma Yahoo is said to live in fig trees. Instead of hunting for food, it is described as waiting for an unsuspected traveller to rest under the tree. The creature then drops down, similar to the drop bear, and uses its suckers to drain the victim's blood.
Fucking hell. Right.
After that, it swallows the person, drinks some water, and then takes a nap. So it can't be that small.
Yeah.
If it swallows the person.
But then if it's living in a tree...
Yeah, true.
It's got to be I'd say, smaller than a human, but bigger than a frog.
Yeah. It says it's got a large mouth.
Yeah. So perhaps there's some link between this and the drop bear, because it's kind of dropping down, like you say.
Wait till you hear this though. When the Yara Ma Yahoo awakens, it regurgitates the victim, leaving them shorter than before. The victim's skin also has a reddish tint to it that it didn't have before. If the process is repeated, the victim becomes a Yara Ma Yahoo themselves. So you actually survive the attack.
This is quite similar to a vampire, isn't it? A
little bit, yeah.
You are subject to the attack, and then if you carry out certain steps afterwards, you then become that creature.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But it's only active during the day. It doesn't come out at night.
So it's like the opposite.
So stories of this creature were reportedly told to misbehaving children. So fucking buck up your ideas, or the Yara Ma Yahoo's going to turn you into a little red frogman.
Grown-ups are cruel, aren't they?
I know.
Scare the shit out of kids' life. Just
get up the stairs now, or I'm going to murder you.
Or the Garumaku, whatever the fuck it's called, is going to eat you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, another one. The Pacific Northwest tree octopus.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. There's very little information on that. It was just an octopus that can live in the sea, but also live in the trees. and there's a lot of this in Australia. It jumps out the tree and attacks you, and apparently its main predator is the Yeti. And the last one was the Yowie. Yowie is one of several names for an Australian folklore entity that is reputed to live in the outback. The creature has its roots in Aboriginal oral history. In parts of Queensland, they are known as Quinkin and Jugabina. Jugabina. In parts of New South Wales, they're called Gindawaring, Jawara, Mingwin, Putikan, Dulaga, Gulaga, and Thulagal.
What are they?
Yowie-type creatures are common in Aboriginal Australian legends, particularly in the eastern Australian states. The Yowie is described as a hairy and ape-like mythical creature, standing upright at between 6 foot 11 inches and 12 foot.
Oh, so it's like their variation of a Yeti.
That's basically, yeah.
Right, okay.
Big, huge,
I think, like, these are quite interesting, these cryptid things, like Yetis and stuff, like, because they seem to be, like, everywhere in the world, like North America, Bigfoot, Nepal and stuff, Yeti, and then this one in Australia. So, like, isn't it funny that there's these stories across the globe about these creatures? And like these sort of civilizations it's only kind of the last sort of 100, 200 years that they've started to sort of interact and mingle and share stories. But they all seem to have this same story about this thing.
But something like a Yeti could very well be believable. A big ape-like man. Why couldn't that have existed?
Yeah, that's true. But then also, like, where's the evidence? Like,
yeah, true.
If there was a big, like, 10-foot ape man living in the woods, then you'd find a pile of shit or something, like, or some hair, or you know what I mean? Like, you'd find something, and there just doesn't seem to be enough evidence to support that. I mean, they've got, like, I've seen footprints, you used to do it as a kid, didn't you? Like a not papier-mâché, but you know what I mean?
Plaster of Paris.
Plaster of Paris, that's it.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, big sort of footprints of that and stuff, but it's just not enough, is it? Like, if there's big fuck off beasts like that walking around, there's got to be more than just a plaster of Paris foot going around. Like,
yeah, it could just be big hairy guys.
Yeah.
Live in the woods. I don't know, but I know what you're saying. Like, different civilizations that have never met each other have come up with the same kind of creature.
Yeah, that's bizarre in itself. Yeah. But then on top of that, where's the evidence to prove this? Like, I don't know. The world's a big place. We've gone way off course here anyway.
So that's what I've got on drop bears. I just thought they're interesting. I was looking at, big spiders and snakes and sharks and stuff, and this came up, like we've talked about our research process before. What is the most dangerous thing in Australia? Google.
That's the starting point.
Yeah.
Ever the professionals, like.
And the most Australia, like the rest of us, the most common death that isn't illness is car crash.
Yeah.
And obviously, people know about black widow spiders, and I think they're more of an American thing, actually.
Yeah, I don't think you get them in Australia, actually. And you get worse ones in Australia.
Yeah. I know, they're not as short as scary spiders, are they? It's not. They're not going to be missing out.
Like black widows, fuck them. Piece of piss. Eat them for breakfast.
I just thought drop bears. I thought they look interesting. I thought I'll see how long I can string you along, believing that they're real.
To start with, I was a bit kind of like, yeah, that's a bit weird, but I was a bit kind of like, well, it's funny I've not heard of them. I'm not saying I'm like David Attenborough or anything, but I was kind of a bit like, it's funny I've not come across them before. And then as it sort of gradually transferred, I think when you started saying about, like, you need to put Vegemite behind your ear, it was kind of nope. But anyway, nice little fun sort of introduction to the series. I think we'll go a bit more kind of like get a bit more realistic over the next couple of episodes, maybe.
Definitely, yeah. I've got another choice, and it is a serious choice that is quite dangerous.
Is it Yeti?
Yeah,
the Australian Yeti,
the Australian sea dragon. No, I've got
flying octopus, or whatever the fuck that was.
yeah, a genuinely quite dangerous. And I know you've mentioned one of the things you want to do, and I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm looking
So
forward to it. Actually, when we delve deeper into
yeah,
things, it should be interesting to see
no
if we can.
spoilers.
If we can establish what is actually the most dangerous thing. Like, I suppose we're going more down like the sort of
Hmm.
animal living thing rather
Yeah,
than car crashes and base jumping.
yeah, but I think we've talked about this before. Now, you know, all right, a car crash isn't always your fault, but I think when we're looking for the most dangerous thing, we're looking for something that you could be minding your own business and poof, you're dead.
Yeah, something we
Something,
can like sort of whack out
yeah,
50 minutes worth of.
yeah. Like a base jumper knows that they're taking a risk. So base jumping's dangerous, but it's a choice.
Yeah, that's the
You
thing.
know,
That's the angle.
you could be minding your own business. A spider bites you and you die. That's not a choice. That's dangerous
Mm.
for me, anyway.
A choice for the spider.
Yeah. So all our dedicated listeners out there, our figures were actually really good for the AFCON episode.
Were they?
Oh yeah, they were.
No complaints yet, though. No,
No complaints. No.
that's
Yeah,
good to know.
I had to filter that quite quickly over one weekend. So, but no, it was. Yeah, figures were good, but we just again ask you share, like, subscribe. We're
Yeah, please
enjoying
do. The
doing this.
reason we ask
Yeah.
you to do that is because it helps with the sort of algorithm. It kind of
Mhm.
pushes us up the leaderboard a little bit, and it just helps us to helps other people, like-minded people, to sort of get come across our podcast. So any
Mhm.
sort of likes or subscriptions or anything like that just really helps us. So we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And we're still taking. I know we're doing this series just now. We're still taking suggestions because we'll do Australia for maybe 5-6 episodes, something like that, whatever we feel to cover it and do it some justice.
Yeah, I guess
And
we'll just see how it goes, I suppose.
yeah,
If you're enjoying it, let us know. And if you want more, let us
hmm
know. And then if not, we'll go back to the original format. But
hmm
we'll see what happens.
yeah, definitely. So that's been fun, James. I just thought it was a little bit of a daft one after us both being ill and doing a clip show and
It's
some. Your AFCON last week was brilliant. I think it,
very
it was
serious, wasn't it?
very
I think
serious because it's a serious point. It's a really important thing that I think needs discussing. But I thought we'll go for a bit of something a bit daft this week,
it's
and
something nice,
mm,
light-hearted subject just to ease
yeah,
us into this this up and coming series.
hmm and I've got a good serious one, something that really is dangerous, something that does cause deaths, and so my next Australia one won't be mythical.
Right,
Be
okay.
something that's actually real. So that's been good, James.
Yeah, call it a night, shall we?
Yeah, that's been the most dangerous podcast, Australia Part 1 Drop Bears.
Thanks, everyone. Take
All
care.
right, James, take care. Bye, everyone.